Hi, ladies and gents. Welcome to CEO Meets. My name is Pip Wilkins. I am the Chief Executive of the British Franchise Association, and I'm really pleased today to be joined by Mark Taylor from Automated Analytics. So Mark, first up, talk to us a bit about kind of your background into franchising and then what Automated Analytics does.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all. Pleasure to meet you as well. So I'm Mark Taylor, I'm the Chief Executive of Automated Analytics. And essentially, prior to setting up my own business, I worked for Halfords, I worked for Hilton Hotels, for Virgin Active. And in all the businesses that I'd worked in, obviously generating sales is the lifeblood of any business. And being able to do it cost effectively really was where I saw my skill set. And I got into private equity when I was in my early 30s. And in private equity, you buy a business, you go in, you trade it up, you hopefully sell it for a profit. And that skill set of being able to generate and grow sales online, even though I was working for a garage chain or I was working for a locksmith, actually that starting click point, if you like, online, and then maybe the sales being taken offline on a phone call or within a branch, being able to actually measure that and being able to track it back to the keywords so you can optimize your online campaign really was quite critical. And I realized that actually a lot of companies out there, their single biggest expense is often Google AdWords when it comes to local marketing, and how can companies big and small actually get the benefit of driving and getting their growth from Google Ads. And when I set up the company Automated Analytics, we launched our first product, which was Ecells, and actually our first ever client was a franchise network. And what I really love about franchising is you're dealing with business owners, very much like myself. We started literally the business started in my bedroom back in 2013, and we now have 25 employees. We turn over north of £3 million, and we've just got our first round of investment back in March last year. And the reason I love franchising so much is those, if you like, sales challenges that you have in big companies are even more magnified sometimes on a local level. So how can you locally support a franchisee to generate, more sales? And our first ever client was actually Mr. Electric, which is owned by Neighbourly. What we were very or quite quick to do, if you like, was actually give them a return on investment from Google. Prior to us working with them, they were spending our money on Google. They couldn't really work out what their return on investment was. And what we're able to do is we were able to drive sales for them for about £15–16 off Google when they were spending, a lot more than that and not really getting much more return. And so as the company has kind of grown, if you like, in the last couple of years, we've started to build AI within our solution. So a lot of my frustration has always been around the systems that were available 5–6 years ago weren't really what I wanted. So we took the decision to develop our own software. We have a partnership with Sheffield University, who are in the top 5 worldwide for neuro-linguistic programming. Got to get that right. And they've helped us build our AI solution. What it enables you to do is to take multiple sources of data. So it could be click data from Google, it could be data from Google Analytics, it could be phone data, even down to what is said on the physical phone call, so that you can understand in real time, I've just had a phone call, it's come from this Google AdWords, and it's generated this sale for me, or it's actually generated a customer services call, and therefore I can optimize my Google budget a different way. And generally what we find with a lot of our clients is, we're very, very good at lowering their cost per job, making it more affordable, and growing their sales by giving them this insight that's actually quite hard to generate. And we've taken that kind of methodology, if you like, using AI to put multiple systems together to actually move into recruitment. So a new arm to the business that we launched at the beginning of last year, Talent Track, actually does a similar thing, from a sales point of view, but does it for recruitment. So the source of where you get the application from, then we take application tracking data, and then we even take a payroll file so that people can see, right, I've got a vacancy, or I've got this vacancy, this person's applied, did they actually join? So that, again, you can optimize your recruitment spend to drive more applications and more hires at a cheaper price.
So you're helping when franchisors say, I spend all of this money on franchisee recruitment and only half of it's successful. You can tell them which bits are successful.
Yeah, and it is always that, the half my marketing budget works, but I don't know which half,
Which
right?
half?
Old adage, we've all heard it, right? We've all heard it. I'm pretty much sick of hearing it. But it is understanding what is it I don't know. I want to know what I don't know, if that makes sense, about my business, even down to customer experience blockers. It might be we've generated a sales lead. Why didn't I convert it? And a lot of people get fixated on price. I'm too expensive. I'm too cheap. A lot of it is actually availability of the engineer, availability of the service, availability of the product. That generally what stops people from selling. But once you can see the hard data of, oh, right, actually, if I just started everybody half an hour earlier in the day, I could get another appointment in, I can grow my sales that way. It's not about spending more marketing money necessarily. It's about optimizing your business process. Same with recruitment. We tend to find, and we found with franchisees before, is I can't get my recruitment to work. I'm getting applications, but I'm not getting hires. And often it's about spreading your net a little bit wider, not just using Indeed, using Total Jobs, using Find a Job, which is a free site the government give you, and enabling you to upload your jobs in a time-efficient manner automatically, and then tracking the responses back so that you can just get more bang for your buck from a recruitment point of view as well.
Okay, you touched very briefly then on obviously working with franchise networks and working with franchisees at local level. They absolutely are local business people with the backup and support of the franchisor. So what specifically are you doing to support sort of franchisees? And is that a relationship that you're building through the franchisor?
Yes, the way we tend to work with a franchise network is we tend to have an agreement with the franchisor, but then our relationship is with the franchisee, and it's giving them the support they need and almost understanding their business on a one-to-one level, because you say they are very local businesses. And what we tend to find is, because we are a small business ourselves, like most franchisees, we get the pains, we understand it, we see it, we use our software ourselves, to generate leads for ourselves, to generate hires for ourselves. So we understand a lot of the pain that franchisees can sometimes go through. And we tend to find that local relationship is absolutely key to really understanding the type of work that they want. Because even, I'll go back to our first client, Mr. Electric, they're electricians. Not everybody wanted the same type of work. So it's flexing the strategy locally to give them the type of business that they really want. And I would say, we work with Dyno Drains as a good example. Dyno, massive network, very, very profitable, high turnover. Again, some franchisees offer certain plumbing and drainage solutions, some don't. And it's about tailoring the strategy to each individual person. So within a franchise, we see a franchise as, yes, it's one kind of main client, but then there's 20, 30 individual clients below it that need account managed, which is what we have.
Can sort of flex and change their spend with you in order to make it work for
their business. Very much so, and also drive the type of business they want where they want it. Because we do a lot of our marketing on a local level or local PPC and local Facebook, you'll find that there'll be certain pockets of locations that are better for you. So then when you go and hire your next engineer or your next service operative, actually we want someone here on the map because we get a lot of demand. And so therefore we need to hire someone in that area next time we had another engineer or service operative to our roster, as it were. So there's a lot of information data we can give a client. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but we're there to help them grow at the end of the day from a sales and recruit point of view. And that's where our account managers, we're now a team of 25. Account management is probably the biggest team that we have, is working with those franchisees to understand, how can we help them grow? What do they need specifically to put a decent campaign together for them?
And you pretty impressively have the Google partner logo behind you. So talk to me about what Google partnership means for your business, but how would that translate to the franchisees and franchisors?
We were actually very lucky that we got spotted by Google probably about 3 years ago, and we were actually put on the European Accelerator Program. So we're one of 20 companies in Europe that were put on what they call the Accelerator Program. So we had a lot of insight into how Google works, a lot of contact with Google. And the idea behind the relationship with Google was to get us to be a premier partner. So only top 3% of companies in the UK are actually a premier partner. The idea was to get us to be premier partner status within 2 years. We actually did it in 12 months. And what we understand how Google works, and a lot of the time, if I'm honest with you, it's playing by their rules. The rules sometimes don't make sense, if I'm honest with you. but they're rules and you've got to stick to them. And so we have had scenarios where we've had, people have their Google My Business entries rejected or taken off Google, and we've got them reinstated because, again, we understand how Google works, so that we can actually ensure that you stay within their guidelines, if that makes sense, whilst measuring, any activity that we do. So the franchisee can see very clearly, right, I spent £1, I've got £10 back. That's valid. And that really is the key to us, is we take away a lot of the smoke and mirrors. And, if we have a bad day, we tell you. If we have a good day, we tell you. It's very, very transparent the way we run the business.
And it certainly makes it much easier for you to be deciphering Google's new algorithms and stuff than having to do that as an individual business. I do have, you have different arms to your business. So there's the Ecells Hub, the Talent Track, and the Call 360. Just touch on those, just a 30 seconds each. What do each of those parts mean?
Yeah, sure. Ecells Hub is where we really started, which is we pay for Google, you pay per lead. So we de-risk it for you. A lot of our franchise clients use it to support their franchisees locally. So as a way of, if you like, funding Google, it's very cost effective. And only if we generate a lead. So if you get 10 calls and only one of those leads is, one of those calls is a sales lead, someone inquiring for your business, you only pay for one call. You don't pay for the 10 clicks that have driven those different calls. And that's really where we started. And then what we realized was a lot of our clients, particularly the franchisees, wanted visibility of all of their marketing, not just their lead generation through us, which is why we created Call 360, which is our platform that measures online and offline conversions, so that, for instance, Dino use it to understand, so what does Dino.com generate in terms of all the revenue by franchise, by location, so that we can understand, our online bookings are worth this, our telephone transactions are worth this, so they can optimize the marketing support they provide their franchisees. And then when it comes to Talent Track, again, it's taking someone's, you might be spending £1,000, £3,000, £4,000 on Indeed. It's actually taking that budget and enabling you to drive double the amount of applications for the same kind of cost, because we have relationships with people like Indeed, Total Jobs, probably about 50 different job boards in the UK. And what we tend to find with most clients is we're able to optimize their budget very, very quickly, because one of our experience, but two of our technical relationships that we have with various different job boards. So we tend to find that, companies will see a significant increase in their application volume and the amount of people that they hire for a cheaper price per hire than they're paying at the moment.
Brilliant. I have one final question. It's the one that I ask everybody. If you were talking to somebody that's looking to come into franchising, what would be your top tip for them?
Coming into franchising, find something that you love. All right. I love my business. I would do this. They're going to be carting me out of the box, right?
Your passion absolutely comes across a million percent.
I love this business. And what I've found is find something that you absolutely love, because there's going to be days where you're not going to enjoy it. And there's going to be days where you absolutely love it. But if you're in love with something and you love what you do, then it'll be so much easier. And I've made moves previously in my career where I've done it for the money and I've hated it. And actually, it's the ones where I found the product or service that I love, I really enjoy. That's what's driven me, to provide outstanding service, and I've been the most successful in. So there's lots of choice in franchising, and it's almost like, my God, where do I start? What are you passionate about? Because it's not about interest. For me, it's about passion. What are you really passionate about? What business could you fall in love with? That's what I'd focus on. And for me, franchising is about sales and operations. Your branding is taken care of, which is brilliant. That's why I love franchising so much. It's sales and operations. It's selling it, and then it's delivering that service or product. Get those two things right, you will have an outstanding business, and you're part of a network, which I think is, when you're a business owner, it can be difficult and challenging. When you're in a franchise network, you've got other people that you can draw on or talk to, or other benchmarks that you've got to say, right, I want a business like his, let me go and understand. If you set up a business on your own, you don't have that access or even that mentoring or that coaching, which is why, that's one of the reasons why I love franchising so much, because I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of people. It's about picking that right product.
Mark, thank you so much. Your absolute passion and enthusiasm for what you do is hugely contagious, and it's great to have you as part of the franchising family.
Thank you.